Israel to withdraw from all the territories occupied in 1967.
Iran does not need a nuclear bomb. The message from President Ahmadinejad for American television viewers as he arrived in the United States ahead of this week's UN General Assembly meeting. But the Iranian leader says sanctions will not slow his country's uranium enrichment program, which he insists will be used to generate nuclear power. Ayman Mohyeddin reports.
When Iran's president visits the U.S., the visit alone makes news. But when he denies Iran is pursuing a nuclear bomb and is not heading to war with the West, it's even bigger news. In an interview with the American news company CBS just before he flew to New York, Ahmadinejad said that nuclear weapons could no longer provide security to nations who have them, and when asked if his country is pursuing them, he answered firmly.
It is a firm no. The nuclear bomb is of no use. If it was useful, it would have prevented the downfall of the Soviet Union. If it was useful, it would have resolved the problems the Americans have in Iraq.
And while analysts, pundits, and even government officials around the world debate whether war with Iran is imminent, Iran's president assured war was not on the horizon.
Well, it's wrong to think that Iran and the U.S. are walking towards war. Who says so? Why should we go to war? There is no war in the offing again. This is psychological warfare. If you have differences of opinion, you can use logic to resolve your differences.
It's a message the president is expected to make on more than one occasion during his trip in the U.S. First stop will be at Columbia University, where despite public protests, Ahmadinejad was asked to address the university as long as he agreed to take questions from the students.
And they're making the same mistake now.
One other place President Ahmadinejad was hoping to visit, the site of the World Trade Center attacks. That was ruled out by local New York officials for security reasons. Later in the week, President Ahmadinejad will be able to deliver his message directly to world leaders at the UN General Assembly. Ayman Mohyeddin, Al Jazeera.
President Ahmadinejad went to the Columbia University in New York City to say that the misuse of science by colonial powers has backfired as chemical, atomic and biological weapons are wrongly used in the world. On Palestine, the president said Palestinians need to be allowed to hold a referendum to decide their own future, adding no one should be given the green light to spend millions of dollars to arm one of the parties involved in the conflict. Rejecting allegations against Iran, President Ahmadinejad said Tehran sees no reason to resort to terrorism because the Iranian nation itself is a victim of acts of terror. At the end of his speech, the Iranian president attended a Q&A session. Earlier, he talked to the Washington-based U.S. National Press Club in a video conference, but he said his remarks on Iraq have been distorted by the Western media. President Ahmadinejad went on to say he had stated that in case of the U.S. withdrawal from Iraq, regional countries such as Iran and Saudi Arabia will be capable of filling the power vacuum and maintain security in the region. Also, in an interview with the Associated Press, the Iranian president noted that Tehran has always maintained a defensive policy. He added he did not believe that the U.S. is preparing for war in Iran.
ایران به هیچ کشوری حمله نخواهد کرد.
Iran will not attack any country.
بعضی حرفایی که زده میشه اولا از روی عصبانیت.
I believe that some of the talk in this regard, first of all, arises from anger.
در ثانی کاربرد انتخاباتی داخل آمریکا داره.
And secondly, it serves the electoral purposes domestically within this country.
و ثالثاً سرپوش گذاشتن بر شکست‌های متوالی از ناحیه سیاست‌های غلط در عراق.
And third, it serves as a cover-up on continued policy failures over Iraq.
ما فکر می‌کنیم یک اشتباه رو با اشتباه دیگر نمی‌توان جبران کرد.
We don't think that you can compensate for one mistake by committing more mistakes.